Welcome to the Gorilla 6 video series. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to create shoot days for your schedule. To get to the shoot days or calendar screen, select the shoot days button on the toolbar. If you don't have any production phases or shoot days, Gorilla is going to prompt you to create a production phase and add some shoot days to that phase. So let's go ahead and explore the screen before we create some shoot days. You will first be asked to name your phase. By default, when you create a new phase, it will be named Principal Photography. You can accept that name, or you can modify it by selecting a different name in the pop-down menu, or typing your own custom phase name. Gorilla is going to ask you how you want to display this phase on your monthly calendar. I'm going to select First Line. You can display up to 5 different phases on your monthly calendar. You can then select a color. I'm going to keep the default blue color for this phase. Over here, it is going to ask you to select the phase type. Gorilla assumes that the phase you are creating is a shoot days phase. Phases can be either shoot days or non-shoot days. You want to use non-shoot day phases for events like location scouting or post-production planning. And finally, down here, you can enter your start and end date. Now, it's going to enter today's date for the start date. So let's modify that by clicking in this field, and from the calendar, selecting a start date. I can then specify how long the shoot is in weeks. If I select 4, the end date automatically gets populated with the appropriate end date for a 4-week shoot. If none of these options suit you, you can click on the end date and use the calendar to select your end date, or you can manually type in the end date. I am going to click OK here, and a production phase will be created with this start date and this end date. After you click OK, you will be taken to the shoot days screen. Over here, you will see your production phase, and on the main window, your shoot days will be listed. If you have a lot of shoot days, you can filter the view by month and year. You only really need one phase for your production, but Gorilla allows you to create multiple phases for better organization. I'm going to create a second phase quickly. If you select the New Phase and Shoot Days button, you will be taken back to the Create Phase screen. I'm going to modify the information here just a little bit. Let's call this the Pickups phase. Display it on the second line, and we will change the color. And lastly, change the start and end dates to, let's say, next month when we are done filming, and click OK. When you return to the Shoot Days screen, you will now see both phases. You can click on the phase to see the corresponding shoot days. I am now going to select the Principal Photography phase because that's the phase we are going to work with. Let's add an off day. If I select this box here for this shoot day, notice that it changes this day to an off day. Also, the shoot day count has changed. This is no longer considered a shoot day, so even though this is the 4th day in the shoot, it is not the 4th shoot day. The next day is now the 4th shoot day. This is just the 4th day out in this phase. We now have 7 shoot days over an 8-day period. If the production is traveling on a particular day, you can select the Travel button. And notice that the travel label appears in the calendar label. Notice also that the shoot day did not turn into an off day. That's because it is possible to have travel and shooting on the same day. If the travel day is indeed also an off day, you can specify that this day will be an off day by selecting that here. To change it back to a shoot day, just select the button and it becomes a shoot day again. Same thing with holidays and non-shoot days. Next, I want to show you how to edit a phase. Select the Add Modify Shoot Days button. This allows you to do three things, and you can see the three different tabs here. In the first tab, labeled Shoot Days, you can rename the phase, you can modify the start and or end dates, and you can push the days forward or backward. Now, the difference between completely modifying your shoot days by manually entering a new start date and or end date and pushing your days forward or backward is important. If you were to modify your shoot days from scratch, it's possible to enter a different range of dates. And if you already created your strip board, then you would either have more days at the end or less days, which could mess up your schedule. If, however, you use the Push Days feature, this assures you that the number of shoot days remains the same. If the number of days must change, then realize that you will have extra shoot days or less shoot days on your strip board, which you will then have to manually adjust for your schedule. In the Phase Details tab, you can change the color of the phase, the text color, and where to display the phase on the monthly calendar. And finally, in the Crew tab, you can specify primary crew that you want to appear on certain reports. That's a wrap. Have a great shoot.